Tell me about yourself.
I'm a detail-oriented analyst with over 3 years of experience in data analysis and business intelligence. I specialize in transforming raw data into actionable insights using tools like Excel, SQL, and Tableau. My background in economics and my experience working cross-functionally with product and finance teams have helped me develop a strong analytical and business mindset.
Why do you want to work as an analyst at our company?
I admire your company's data-driven approach and commitment to innovation. I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to decision-making by analyzing market trends and business performance. With my experience in using data to improve processes and drive growth, I believe I can add value to your team.
What tools and technologies are you proficient in?
I'm proficient in Microsoft Excel, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, macros, SQL for querying databases, and Tableau/Power BI for data visualization. I also have experience in Python for basic data cleaning and analysis using Pandas and NumPy.
Explain a project where your analysis made a business impact.
In my previous role, I analyzed customer churn patterns using SQL and Tableau. I discovered that users who didn't complete onboarding had a 60% higher churn rate. Based on this insight, the product team revamped the onboarding flow, resulting in a 15% increase in customer retention.
How do you handle tight deadlines?
I prioritize tasks based on impact and urgency. I communicate early with stakeholders to set realistic expectations and break down work into manageable parts. If needed, I'm comfortable putting in extra hours to meet critical deadlines.
Describe a time when your analysis was challenged.
In a previous project, a manager disagreed with my sales forecast. I presented the data sources, methodology, and assumptions clearly. After a collaborative review, we refined the model together. The final forecast ended up being accurate within 3% of the actual result.
How do you ensure accuracy in your reports?
I double-check calculations, validate data sources, and use peer reviews when possible. I also create error check formulas and document my process to reduce risks of mistakes.
How do you explain complex data to non-technical stakeholders?
I focus on the business impact, use visuals to illustrate trends, and avoid technical jargon. I ensure the story behind the data is clear and tie it to business goals, so it's easily understood by non-technical audiences.
Describe your experience with dashboards.
I've built interactive dashboards in Tableau and Power BI for sales, finance, and operations teams. I focus on usability, visual clarity, and dynamic filtering. I include KPIs, trends, and drill-down features so stakeholders can explore the data in real time.
A stakeholder asks for a quick report, but you know the data has quality issues. What do you do?
I'd explain the data limitations and offer a high-level, qualified version of the report with clear disclaimers. I would also provide a plan and timeline to clean the data and produce a more accurate report.
You found a major error in a report you submitted. What steps would you take?
I'd inform the relevant stakeholders immediately, explain the issue and its impact, correct the data, and share the revised report. I'd also investigate the root cause and implement checks to prevent similar issues in the future.
How do you prioritize multiple analysis requests?
I prioritize based on impact, urgency, and alignment with business goals. I ask stakeholders clarifying questions to assess value and discuss trade-offs when needed. I also keep a transparent request tracker to manage expectations.
What is a cohort analysis and how do you use it?
Cohort analysis groups users based on shared characteristics, sign-up month, and tracks their behavior over time. I use it to measure user retention, engagement, and lifetime value, especially in subscription or SaaS businesses.
How do you perform a root cause analysis?
I use tools like the 5 whys, fishbone diagrams, or data segmentation. For example, if sales drop, I analyze performance by product, region, and channel, and correlate with external factors like seasonality or promotions to isolate the cause.
Describe a situation where you had incomplete data. How did you proceed?
In a sales performance project, we were missing 2 months of data due to a system migration. I used historical averages and regression estimates to fill gaps and clearly mark the estimates in the report to maintain transparency.
What is regression analysis and when do you use it?
Regression analysis examines the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variables. I use it for forecasting, understanding drivers of sales, or estimating trends based on external factors.
Tell me about a time when you had to explain technical data to a non-technical audience.
I created a churn prediction model using logistic regression. When presenting to customer service, I use simple visuals and analogies to explain risk scores and patterns. This helped them target retention efforts more effectively.
Describe a time when your recommendation was not accepted. What did you do?
In a pricing strategy meeting, my data showed a need to reduce prices, but the sales team was concerned. I listened to their views, revised my analysis to include their field data, and adjusted my recommendation to balance data with business intuition.
Tell me about a time when your analysis directly influenced a decision.
In a previous role, I analyzed customer purchasing behavior and identified a segment that was highly responsive to bundle discounts. I recommended a targeted promotion which increased average order value by 18% over a month. The campaign was later scaled company-wide.
How do you manage stakeholder expectations?
I communicate early and clearly, ask detailed clarifying questions, and agree on the scope and deadline. I give regular updates on progress and flag any delays or data issues promptly to ensure alignment throughout the process.
Tell me about a time you had to learn a new tool or technology quickly.
When I joined a new team, they used Power BI, which I hadn't worked with before. I dedicated extra hours for tutorials and hands-on projects, and within a few weeks, I delivered a full dashboard that got positive feedback from leadership.
What steps would you take to evaluate the performance of a new product launch?
I would track KPIs such as sales volume, revenue, customer adoption rate, return rate, and customer feedback. I compare these against forecasts and past product benchmarks, segment the results by customer type, and identify areas for improvement.
If a business unit's revenue dropped by 20%, how would you approach the analysis?
I would break down the revenue into components: price, volume, customer segments, product lines, and regions. Then I'd analyze each to identify which factors contributed to the drop and use supporting data, market trends, competitor activity to provide recommendations.
How do you handle last-minute changes in analysis requirements?
I stay calm, clarify the new scope, and evaluate how much of the existing work can be reused. I communicate any time or resource impacts, then prioritize tasks to deliver as much value as possible within the new constraints.